ABS had made the East.
Good morning again. Coming to this beautiful day morning out, and good morning, Anambra. You discussions. I'm sure that you want to discuss with us this morning. My name is Sijoma. Very good that is with me. I will always be.
Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's another day, and thank God for being here, being alive. You know, I always say something. You look at IG this morning, you can't help but just being happy. You know, being next to her. Good morning, IG.
Okay. Good morning to you. Just want to paint your life pink this morning. So that you shine.
To speak my love, lens.
Somebody is carried away. All right. Thank you very much for joining us again. Today, we're going to talk about a burial. It is 2022 International Day of Charity. Yeah. Okay.
We for charity, charity. Yeah,
Boy, tell them something.
my child, my person, my person. Yeah, charity.
I love charity. No. Welcome again, and some people have joined us to share this topic with us, and then let's see if there's any charity that will drop again. Okay, the first person is Mrs. Josephine Ezenachi. I hope I got your name right. Ezenachi is the president-elect League of Achina Women Professionals. Am I right? Okay, good morning and welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much.
Wow, have you been here?
Oh, this is my first time.
Don't mind this camera. I think you look like a sister to me, where this like
Okay, like looking like the sister, looking like
one of our fathers
You know,
went
the black
Missed
is
Road. You have
The
joined
black
us.
is
It
beautiful.
is a black because this person is also black. And that's our own rhetorical Obidibo. He's also a public affairs analyst. Good morning,
Good morning.
Rotarian.
Thank you for having us today.
Again, the show.
Okay. This morning, like you have heard the introduction, that we're going to look at 2023 National Day of Charity. So, thinking we put to now. Before I see me to start as to be too here. Okay, it's all about Rotarian.
Well, it has been an age-long idiomatic expression that charity is assumed to start. What it means is that you must have to take your immediate responsibility, particularly from the home. So you start to look outward in helping people. You must be responsible. If someone is not responsible at home, so in actual fact, has a lot, both extended and immediate. And you have to be responsible and make sure whatever need you can actually handle in the family fold, you must have to do it. You must, because it is a responsibility. And for that of the family, to the extended family, paying school fees, making sure that, children of your nephews, nieces, and cousins are not dropped out from school. It's a charity. So it's a shared responsibility. So when they coin it, that the charity in the first place must start from the home, means that so that it will look holistic. It will not be a stage managed thing, or you are trying to, show off. You must make sure Nezi the ma. I mean, no, not the ma before Ezi.
Well, let's look at a little background of what this International Day of Charity is all about. It was established with the objective of sensitizing people, NGOs, and stakeholders all around the world to help others through volunteer and philanthropic activities. Background of what the International Day of Charity is all about. But it looks as if we're beginning to lose, as humans, we're beginning to lose the focus, the meaning of what this day is all about. Let me come to the President-elect, Mrs. Josephine, regarding charity. I just put out there an overview, the background of what the International Day of Charity is all about. But it looks as if we're missing the essence of what this day seems to be representing. Where do you think we got it wrong?
Thank you, moderator. What we are getting wrong, you said?
Yes, in terms of this charity, giving out to people who need help, volunteering to meet the needs of people who need some of this help. But it looks as if this day, looking at the country, looking at the world in general, it looks as if everybody is now living for themselves.
Okay. Okay, I think, yeah, you are quite right there, that people are no longer, doing what used to, take place in the olden days, where people, live like communal life, seeing one another as brothers and sisters, helping, sharing, So these days, such things are no longer, cannot be seen, amongst us now. Maybe they have reasons. I think there are reasons for that.
Yeah, that's what we want to know.
Why is so? I think one of the reasons is this communal type of living dying down. Which might be as a result of this, rapid drift to urban cities. And there, some of the children born in urban cities don't even go home. They don't know, and they don't know, and they are not even taught, what is obtainable. The importance of, carrying everybody along, because they are like a nuclear family there, they know just themselves. They don't know their extended family members. Some don't go home, and they are not taught. And as a result of that, when they grow, you can't give what you don't have. They were not taught that, yes, they don't know, and so they don't do it. Right. That's one of the reasons.
Okay, we'll move on. Today actually is the International Day for Charity, but we need to domesticate it, and that's why we want to look inwards, the way we live our lives, or the way we were living before now. Okay, when you have this communal life. Kanayo, you can give us a background of what it looks like when they will tell you na ufu onye ada amụ nwa. Ndị Igbo asị gị na onye tabili onye nwanne and nsogbu ofu onye bụ nsogbu ọra. A whole lot of things. The way they, what they created that made them live a very good communal life, whereby some of us are now looking forward to it, like this lady that just dropped her music the other day. Onurube nwanne bana also. Or this equal to her. Or first of all, let's look at that background before we get to where we are today.
Well, you see, civilization, urbanization, as they are good and the bad, and if you like, the ugly too. So now, I remember the old days in Oka here, when every person knows every person. It's no longer like that. Like you rightly said, no funya de amungwa. If a child is seen in another village trying to do the wrong thing, a mother comes out, then everybody knows everybody. And he will scold the child and correct him. Like these days, urbanization has so much taking place in our rural communities. I was listening to somebody. I was listening to a discussion yesterday. Somebody said that in Anambra State, everywhere is no longer a rural dwelling. So I used to, and I look at it. For instance, Mbako, Isiago. You see, those come and let me tell you, in the old good days of Oka, we don't have fence. You can, from Amenyi, continue to walk, in between houses until you get to Agolo. Okay, it's no longer like that. So it has actually thwarted the setting of the old, where, like you said, Onyaga na 1 year. It's no longer Onyaga na 1 year thing now. And the people are very skeptical, in doing certain things. There are people, my friend said, if you train a lawyer in your family, you have trained the first enemy.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Because he will use you to practice. Really? In most cases, yes, I have seen it work in my town here. Lawyers, when they are called to bar, they come home to introduce, but probably they want to practice within the family, starting at home, to tell the elders that this is not the way it should be. As
charity begins at home.
Yes. And in the process, it brings frictions, it brings misunderstanding and acrimonies. So, but at the same time, it is only when you go international, you find out that they think about charity. They think about the third world and the fourth world and the fifth world, where they are still talking about, in those days, I remember that the Kennedy Foundation brought in dry milk to share.
Okay, 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. All right, Mr. Kichu.
I love this so much, and I love the topic you're discussing.
Thank you.
Actually, those at home, or those in the people in the house, you don't go out to do charity when you do not provide charity in your house. Many homes are already shut up. Many homes are in disarray. Husband and wife, most of them, in fact, many homes, the husband and wife are not living together. Children are suffering. Why would you go out to charity when your home is already in disarray? So the International Day of Charity in your house. If you start it in your house, you will know how it will look like. You will know how it has affected your children, your spouse, and everybody around you. So you will know how to take it outside to go and help people there. Notwithstanding, like Big Brother said, globalization and whatever has affected, that communal lifestyle. We should also know that westernization has also affected our communal lifestyle in Africa. You should also know that population has affected. You see, in those days, our forefathers, they were very few when farming was a center of attraction, that people would come together to go and farm, together share what they have harvested, their produce and other food. But today, corporate kind of work and other types of work have affected that. We also know that when hardship gets in, charity begin to lose shape. Nigeria or the country at large, the whole world at large now, is in very serious hard time that we need to exercise charity becomes somehow difficult. But as well, charity should not be monetarily attributed. It should also be attributed in terms of kindness, honesty, truthfulness, and what have you. We should not always attribute charity by what, like you said, gave me the Toronto. No. Charity should be an embodiment of true love. Even when you don't have money, how do you show such love to your neighbor, to your children, to your wife, to yourself first and foremost, and to the body of every living soul around you?
Okay.
The day set aside should not be a day that you must show that charity should be an everyday thing that you should do whenever you come across somebody who is in need. But you should start it at home first.
Thank you very much.
Because you don't come out and say charity, you should start it. No. Start it at home.
All
Show
right.
your children, your wife, and other people around you love before you put outside. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. I think he actually
I was saying earlier, I said international organizations are interested in carrying out charity work in most of these third world countries. For instance, I belong to the Rotary International Club. And Rotary International Club, their other name is charity and nothing else. So that's what they do. We are fighting polio, which was affecting our people. And Nigeria is actually now a polio-free country. Most of the funds and drugs were donated for charity. And for like I said, every Rotarian knows that charity is our key word. When we do fellowship, our meeting is called fellowship. After the fellowship, then we do the charity. The charity collection is for the less privileged. We look for those who are less privileged in our community and make sure we assist them. We go and do what we call the need assessment. From the need assessment, you will be able to know what is required in every community. And then the charity work, if it's a borehole, if it's a school building, if it's a laboratory, these are the things you do to assist the less privileged. And in actual fact, the International Day of Charity should focus more on the less privileged. We have people right now in IDP camps all over this country. And we have people in some other countries like Somalia. I saw where the flood has ravaged some countries. And you see like the Red Cross, the Oxfam, the Salvation Army, they are actually moving relief to those areas that are affected. So charity, in actual fact, will start from your immediate family. Like the caller said, when parents shows that threat of charity at home, the children picks up. That's what she said, my colleague here, and that we no longer, because of certain developmental issues or conditions, imbibe that character in our children. So it is important that parents should show charity like it's really said, love of one another. Because if you don't harm nobody, then you are showing some, a good neighborliness. You are showing love, and then, and if you love somebody, you will assist. You must assist the person, no matter how little it is.
Okay. Let me pause you there. Let me come to you now, Mr. Josephine, rather. He said, if you love somebody, you would assist the person or, show some form of charity. Do you think this is one of the main, bedeviling this part of the world, our country, Nigeria, that we no longer love ourselves. We no longer want to help ourselves. Yes, we say, it's easy to say, people say it's easier said than done. Do we really practice it? Do you feel most times the fact that you cannot give what you don't have, some children are from broken homes and they don't even understand what love is all about, let alone, displaying the acts of charity?
Well, I would say that there are some people that will wish to, show that act of charity. But sometimes they are skeptical about doing that. Like in our community, some people have that notion that these rich men, they, how do I put it? They swap people's destiny with their gifts. And some people are afraid of, being or facing that type of scandals. And so such can make one not to show that act of love. Not that they don't want to. And again, there are people that will want to give it, but their hands are tied for one reason or the other. There are people that have that love, that desire to give, but they don't have, especially now that we have, hard time is biting everybody. And some that we are doing it for one reason or the other are not doing it. For instance, those that's this very bad economy, in my town, there are plenty of them that used to do it. But because of the situation in the country, bad business, everything, they are no longer doing it. Not that they don't want to, but they don't have the wherewithal anymore. So there are a lot of reasons. Not that they don't have the love. They have people that are willing to, but
People are willing to, but is it going to stop us? Biblically, you are asked to also love your enemy. If it is just giving to people that give you or you expect to get back, that you have not given anything until you give to those that won't even be able to give you. Okay, I think that's what these international organizations are doing in Africa or third world countries, where they don't expect anything from you. They just want to help you start live a good life. Okay, but here in Nigeria, like I said, that we have to domesticate this topic. Okay, what do we need to do to get to the next person? Because you get to a place, like I come from Onitsha, you get to some streets in Onitsha, you see very high, buildings like that, 4-story, 5-story buildings, about so many of them in one street, but there's no road. Everybody's waiting for government. And sometimes I will ask, is it impossible for these landlords to come together, collect money, maybe 100,000, and do this road? And some other person will ask you, on the landlord, on the tenancy, Solunaga. Okay, you don't want to give out anything because there's nothing you will gain from that, or because it's not just you. Do you understand what I mean? So when do we learn how to live this kind of life, whereby you extend what you have to the benefit of the person that doesn't have? Kanayo.
Yes. The point remains that we don't have a good system. The system is not working. Ordinarily, infrastructural development within any city should be handled by the city council, or what we call the local government council. The planning, for instance, before you build a house anywhere, the city must be planned. And then if the city is planned, there will be no need for this question of landlord, having collection. But they will pay their taxes. They will pay their taxes.
You have money, you can do this, but you don't want to do it because it is not the road that leads to your own private residence.
Let me tell you, there's a guy we call
it's charity.
Kenneth Nwokike. Kenneth Nwokike is from Oka here. He has a business in Enugu. Then he wants to build a house in where we call Agoye area of Oka. Go and see the road he built. He did a road, a better road than what we are having in anywhere in Oka. Because, and as soon as he finished that road to his house, development sprang up all over the place. His house is now like a mini estate because he built that road with good drainages. So he didn't mind. He's a single person.
And that's charity.
Thank you.
That's where the angle I'm coming out from. What
What
about boreholes?
Yes.
You drill borehole, that's water, recyclate water, and then you will not allow people to, you'll be selling it to poor masses that do not have anything to eat.
That is the mentality of our people.
I was going to talk about the
mentality. You see, if it is a mentality thing, if you people will live, for instance, there's one hotel down the road at Agokadia. The road to that hotel, beautiful gate, I must mention, is I can't describe it. And you have a wonderful hotel, and you left that road to your hotel. Who are you waiting for? Just like you're
waiting
asking
for
question.
Ijoma.
So if you are waiting for Ijoma to come and do the road, and probably yes.
You see some of these big, like in Onitsha, you see some of these big gas stations. You see the road that is living into their own gas stations. So for you to go and buy fuel in there,
yes.
you have to,
You see,
damage your cars, and they won't do the road because
at the time,
they are waiting for government.
At the time when we are into the government, what I mean, local administration, we went to the banks and wrote the banks that most of the environment, some adjoining roads by their bank are so dirty that they don't even care. So we wrote to them, and every one of them responded by trying to do the road by the bank. You see, it's a shame that you will find a refuse by the bank, and the bank will not cut it away. So there are civic responsibilities for we individuals and corporate organizations. But since things like that are no longer enforced, or there's nobody to enforce it, then it will let it go. However, we are appealing to people. Today is International Day of Charity. What we are saying is that those who have, I think it was Morocco that sang Onye Chineke Gozili, Nyagozi Obodie.
Give it back to the society, but before we continue, please, let's get to the street and talk to some people. We are coming back.
The world is turning the other way around, unlike the way the world has been right from time in the olden days. But nowadays, people tend to have a different opinion and impression. Even at times when you bring out gift and you give to someone, they might start suspecting you, suspecting that the reason for giving this gift could be you want to kidnap, or you want to kill him, or you want to put him in a mess. So by so doing, this could have affected the way people will like to do their charity to people and welcome people. At times, someone might be innocent. In the process of doing something, you might be misinterpreted. So nowadays, people tend to be more careful in whatever thing they do. The only means that can be used to encourage people, it could be a means of togetherness, making sure that we have unity among ourselves and we understand ourselves.
In terms of charity work, it's good to be good, that is it. But now, if you check the kind world we are now, people are not even taking you the way you're taking them. In terms of, if you want to help somebody, that means somebody that if you're doing apprentices, if you want to go and bring somebody now, you start planning deaths or start planning evils against you. So some of those things equally discourage people from helping others. As when you have a family, when somebody is doing well, even in your town, and people notice that you're doing well, before you know it, they start calling you names, different things. Maybe you're doing juju, you're doing ritual, you're doing yahoo, a lot of them. Equally discourage people.
You don't really blame people for not, being encouraged to do those charity services, because many people have lost their lives. You may really think of a man who stood to help a person on the road crying. At the end, the person is an armed robber that has robbed the man, even killed the man, and rendered the family, fatherless and hopeless. So you don't really blame them for security reasons. Some may trace you to your home and also attack you. Some may do anything. Some are even hoodlums. Some are kidnappers. Some may push you into the car and run off. But some are good. In spite of the fact that many people are like that, we don't really jettison the issue of, helping people because of one thing or the other. After all, Abraham helped angels, and that was how he was able to get Isaac. So the Bible says you can put your seed, in many baskets, lay your bread in many waters. You don't know the one that will give you seed. So in as far as people are afraid of, helping others, you cannot just stop. Me, I help people, I give people seed, food, I give them money. But one thing I do, in all things, you have to be careful, be security conscious, for the days are evil.
But my experience is about transparency. Most of those people you tend to help, you tend to give out charity to, tend to be defrauding you. So it's a very terrible experience. By the time you find out that in your own little, you're using your widow's mind to help someone who is even better than you, it's a kind of discouragement to us. It doesn't stop me from doing charity. It doesn't stop me from being who I am. I am born to be charitable, and I try as much as possible. The slightest opportunity I see sincerity in what you're demanding, I come out for you. I can do anything to help anybody. But it takes me, there's this reluctance in me that pushes me back not to do what I ordinarily would have been doing freely. Bringing out money to give now, it's a little bit difficult for me because of my experience. So I would like to find out, get to the root. Ordinarily, I don't ask questions, but these days I ask questions to be sure that the money I'm giving out goes for that purpose.
Okay, we'll welcome you back. It is still Good Morning, Anambra, and this is our discussion segment where we'll bring out one or two topics, and then with our guests, we'll look at it and invite you to also make a contribution. So wherever you are, you can start calling in. That's a phone number on your screen, so you use it and call in and make your own contribution. Thank you. Yes, we are still looking at giving back to the society by way of charity. Okay, when we went on break, we started mentioning a whole lot of places that people have tried to give back to the society that really made them. You're not going to die. You're not going to go anywhere, heaven or hell, with all this money. Bring it out. Let it affect the next person. Okay? You mentioned the places like Neni, where men, just one or two of them, were able to put up virtually all the roads in the Neni Tad. It's not only in Neni, I think it's also in our law. Okay, I'll sumo. And even Ukbo, where Ato Eze is doing all the roads in Ukbo, kind of a thing. So a whole lot of places. Let's look at people, actually, that have given back to the society that really made them who they are.
Like I rightly said, in Oka here, where I come from, Kenneth Nwokige is probably known as Shanshi. So Shanshi did a road that nobody thought in the history of Oka that a drainage could even be, done on that road. But he did a road that for the past 7 years, you can't find any pothole on that road. As it is now, it's about a kilometer road. He did. And then Professor Keanu Yago went to various schools, particularly the school where he went to primary school, All Saints Primary School at All Saints Church here, and changed the environment of that church. If you see the pitch, it's like an American pitch. If you see the two-story building, it's like an American for children, because that was his primary school he went to. And he goes down to Capital and did one for the Ayom Nopala. He went to Agolo, my own immediate constituency, and did the same thing. He went to Kenedike. Kenedike employed him when he came out of University of Calabar. He was the first administrative secretary of ASUTEC before he left to go and study.
Which one is ASUTEC?
Yeah, Professor Okeano Yago.
What is ASUTEC?
Asutec is Anambra State
University of Technology.
School.
Where is it?
It was
Asutec, the president
changed to Anambra Azikiwe now.
Oh, sorry.
That was, Professor Kenneth Dike came in and Mobodo asked him to establish Asutec in Enugu. But there was a legislation in the Anambra State of Assembly as at that time that they should establish campuses. So Oka became one of the campus. Enugu one. Enugu was the main campus, and then Abakaliki. So Oka campus now turned out to become this Nnamdi Azikiwe University today. So Professor Kanoya was the first administrative secretary of that college, the university. And when he left and came back, he started doing all this charity work. He was ready to bring in some teachers from America before the COVID. Yes. He was trying to
pay them.
Yes, and pay them.
We're
That's what he
looking
wanted
at
to
charity,
do.
International Day of
So
Charity.
he was trying to if you go to these schools he built, you find the furniture, they are different. Different furniture. It is an all American model of school setting.
That's beautiful. You may want Mrs. Josephine.
Yeah.
You may want to put in one or two.
I also want to give example of what is happening in my own town, Achina. No, if I tell you that we've never experienced government presence, it will look like an overstatement.
There's government presence everywhere.
Yeah.
Government is also calling on individuals.
So, but I am telling you that we are sustained through these philanthropists. Though we don't have plenty of them, I know of one Olive Oba, This guy used to tar our road, as in grade, not tarring, but all the roads that are the major roads in our town. Every year he will come and give money for it. Olive Oba.
Okay.
He was even building houses for yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we have plenty of them. We have what's the name? Obieli. I've forgotten the first name. The street light we are, having in our town, was provided by him.
Okay, that's a group you belong to.
Yes.
Is there anything that the group, the League of Achina Women Professionals, have actually done in Achina?
Yeah, we've done a lot.
Can we hear just
We've
one or two?
We've done a lot. Like I said, we really have government presence in our distance. So, League of Achina Women Profession was born out of the need, having seen all the problems we have, plenty of them, ranging from bad road, no water, no electricity, children not going to school, even the schools that are, in our town. If you go there, you ask whether, this is part of Anambra State.
Have your union been able to?
That's where we are now. We have done a lot. We started from, going to individuals. For instance, there's this woman that a breadwinner, of the family. The husband was bedridden for years, and suddenly she developed this elephantiasis. So that was where we started first. It was churches that were helping, CW and all that.
So what did you do to her?
We took her to this hospital at Enugu, got the limbs amputated and replaced with artificial legs. Okay, and we also empowered her. We set up a business, and by the grace of God, she is happy. She's providing for the family through what Lopi has done. Okay, so then we have this health center, from our government. But if you go there, it was before our presence there. The building was overgrown with weeds, occupied by reptiles and dangerous
rodents.
And you wouldn't know.
Even
you will not even know that there were people that were being paid or are being paid by the government. The doctor then was very sick and was not coming to work. And so you see our poor people going to private hospitals, with little attendance. They will be charged very high.
And you've been able to put up the health center?
Yes.
Is it working now?
in short, it's better seen than
Yeah,
explained.
we'll go there when we finish this week.
Even like I was saying,
Yes.
Chanshi Kenneth Mokike is a regular name is Otondo. He has built houses in Oka here and elsewhere for widows. And when I mean building house, he will build a house, do the interlocking, come and sink a borehole, furnish it. I'm telling you what he has done here in Oka for widows. You
That's
see?
why I say that you don't wait for government to do all the things for us.
Yes.
Only this communal life I need be even before the advent of government.
So like she rightly said, the first tap water in Oka were done by the Oka women. They say, so if you have actually started cooking for your husband, then you contribute. And they contributed money and reticulated water from down behind this television station, where we call Ovie Moka, to Aroma. You saw the
What do you call it?
Ovie Moka. Ovie Moka is behind Ovie Moka. There's a stream there. After this, after Zig's place, the new government house, the new government lodge being built, down the road there, you will find the water. It was reticulated all the way to Aroma. You see that reservoir, and then it was reticulated all the way to Oka. We had then water on the streets of Oka, where you can go to the tap and fetch what it was all done by the women.
I have to clap because I belong to
Oh, yes.
Let's take this call just again. Good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, please, I want to, in fact, I never knew this is what my being here will entail, but I'm glad.
It's charity.
Yeah, we are still talking about, I want to use this opportunity to please call on the government, even though we are doing a lot. Like, if you enter our primary schools, like Atachina, oh my God, you will cry. You will see.
Don't worry.
I'm coming. But we are doing it. I'm telling you what we are doing on it. That's it. It's charity.
We are looking at charity.
That's
so these ones, that's channel. There are channels through which you can channel those ones and then get where you want.
Let me
But
tell
for
you
now,
what we are doing about
okay,
it.
go ahead.
Let me tell you what we are doing about
Okay, go
it.
ahead.
Okay? By 20th and 21st of this month, League of Achina Women Professionals will be going to the schools, you know, to provide them with books, school bags, because we first of all visited them and interacted with the staff, and we were able to know what their problems are. Many children are not going to school because of, you know, and because there is no enough teachers, you see PTA employing teachers and then taxing themselves. And some parents that cannot afford the extra money.
Have you waded into that
So
too?
that's what we are doing.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you paying part of the PTA teachers now?
We have agreed. We are taking off this academic year.
Okay, we may not really be PTA teachers. You could create your own teachers. The League of Professionals Achina teachers, employ teachers to pay. Why PTA?
We are about doing that.
What we want is teachers in our school to take care of our children.
Exactly.
This is the way we give back to the society.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
The society have given you education, so you should also give back to the society by contributing some of these things that we're saying now.
That's
why
what
we're
stand
talking
for.
about charity.
That's
Thank you very
doing.
much. That's a very good one. And I know that Rotary, Akana, you have told us what Rotary has been doing, and we all know it's out there. You also have organizations apart from Rotary. Let's see what
Good morning before. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Are you there?
Hello? You called us and you don't want to say anything. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. We can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Okay.
All right, as much
It's
as possible,
obvious.
when you do call us, please move away from your TV set rather. And then again, you should be sure and ready that you are ready to talk when you call. So you don't just call and, keep every one of us here just, looking at the screen like that.
And helloing.
You understand? So we're still talking about charity, but time is really now.
That's a round-off,
yes. She's talked about what the Achina women has done. You've talked about what the Oka women have done. Let's talk about ourselves. This is a group. away from people who are in group, women group, men group, and all of that, individually, what is our problem? Why do we have big issues, trying to reach out to people who we know need help and we know we can offer such help quickly?
But you see, there are in this community, some of our communities, when you want actually to go out of your way to do charity, it becomes a problem. Haven't you heard about it? Good. Let me tell you, there's a guy I know who was paying school fees. At a point, people started all this kind of gossip. I can tell you, you guys know Aroma. Aroma is an individual, it's an Aka man. This Aroma.
Really?
Yeah. When he came up to establish the first industry in Aka, that poultry farm was the very first industry in this state, as at the time. I don't know of name, I'm not sure. So, he arranged a scholarship scheme for his village and then made a lodgement. Do you know that the elder said no, that the money should be shared on Nazongwe? Yes, I'm saying it on open television. It is a thing that happened. You see, okay, for instance, this Enugu Onitsha road was done up to Logiana Corporation. Logiana Corporation from Italy was brought into Nigeria by an Aka man, Dr. Ejike. Okay, so when they wanted to do our village, to network our village with road, they stopped him. I'm talking about charity.
It will stop you from because someone didn't so many towns are like that. The AZC, there's so many of them. We'll have to draw the curtain here because we have really come a long way. I think guiding the way for the next International Day of Charity. So you might keep me one day mother you must give back to the society.
That's right.
It got it too much. You ought to go bupu affected the life of the next person. Familiar da wa gona ini juge afọ pata ego ibia gbapo mi lebe kuye lebe there are so many things you can do to affect the life of the next person, and then when they are happy you are safe. You should bear that in mind too.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, and Mrs. Josephine.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Did I get that?
You did.
President-elect of the League of Action and Women Professionals. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, it's time we have to go, but you should also know that charity. You're not taking this money out of the world. Be good and make someone else happy.
Exactly. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, the cameraman. Thank you, the producer, the ops director, and the whole lot of people in the house. Thank you. Let's go out there and do charity.